Welcome back, ladies. We're here for we're here for another episode.
Hello,
man, how are you ladies doing?
Everyone. Doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Fantastic.
Good. I'm liking that little hairdo, Lisa. Lisa got a little curly situation going on. Her
To the side.
slicked up, and it's a little, yes. I like her little, her
Curly mohawk. A little curly mohawk. Yeah, that's my thing. All right, ladies. So what are we talking about today? I think we should jump in.
Okay. What you got for us?
I think we should talk about how we were disciplined by our parents.
What's happening, family? You're listening to the Unfiltered Limin with BLT. Every week, we will reflect on our journey on trying to navigate between our parents' traditional culture versus American culture. Oh, gosh, boy. We are your hosts,
Bertide,
Lisa,
and of course, Terry. Oh, yeah? No one is talking. So let's get unfiltered.
Licks and no licks. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah.
So I'm asking for forgiveness later. Mom, don't kill me. Go ahead, Terry. I'm going to let Terry start out.
I'm going to tell you this. If my mother ever gets a chance to hear this particular episode, she's going to say, "But you dangerous. You could lie. I didn't used to be doing it like that." Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Let's call a spade a spade. And then there's a running joke with my aunt also. Shout out to Auntie Hyson. Yes, how she gave me, "Big truck coming. Oh God, big truck coming. Hold on to the big truck. Big truck. I can't. Sorry, people. Yes, sorry. The big truck being tossing here. But my aunt, one time, that there's a running joke at my aunt's house that she gave me a beating. And this is like, she never used to beat me or anything like that. But this one time she got so fed up with me always having my work late, honey. It was me and my cousin sitting down at the table, and I had a paper due for the next day for school. And we were scrambling trying to get this paper due. She got so pissed up, she got up from the table. Now, my cousin knew what was coming down the pike. My cousin kindly got up, didn't even say, "It's about to go down." She walked in the room, and
she left you.
Pull out the belt, Lego beast. I tired of this shit with you and this lateness. I was like, okay. Yeah, I was wishing her death and my cousin's death. Yes.
So that's what I was going to say. Your cousin left you hanging. She left you hanging.
She went inside the room because she knew what was coming. She did. I didn't know. So I didn't even catch it from the corner of my eye that she was coming. Honey, she got me out there good. Yes. But my family members, I'm telling you, my family members, used to catch it. When we were younger, it was whatever they could put their hand on. A slipper, a belt, or whatever. And if you were not fast enough, trust and believe you was catching, your share and everybody's share. And don't let somebody else get licks and you laughing because you catching that too.
Yep.
Some of that action too, just for laughing.
Like, what you laughing at? Yeah.
Exactly. Why are you laughing? So, it was to the point of my mother had this thick leather belt. I hid the belt. So anytime she was looking for the belt, what belt? I don't know where you put it. But I knew, yes. I hid that belt deep inside the closet. You won't hit me with that again. That's a negativo Steve-O. Yes,
oh my God.
My father, he didn't really discipline. He didn't really beat us too much. But I did remember one time.
Too much.
He didn't know. Everybody had their one time. So, long story short, I was supposed to go, it was after school. I was supposed to pick up my sister from school and come straight home. Terry didn't do that. What Terry did was, a friend of mine, her name was Aisha. She and these two guys, as a matter of fact, it was a Cornell and OC. And both of us went over to OC house. what we doing at OC house? So we go over to OC house and we hanging out, we having a good time and stuff like that. It got late. I'm coming up the block. My sister's looking out the window like, oh yeah, here she come. So I come in because, you know, my mother and father's frantic because my sister had to come. My sister was younger, so she had to come home by herself. And there was a big road that she had to cross. So, you know, all these things as a parent you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, me, I wasn't thinking about that because I was doing me. Well, I got there. My father was like, where were you? Let me tell you how dumb I was. He said, where were you? I was like, I was out, you know, over by OC house. He says to me, and here's the thing that would have got me off the hook. He says to me, what's the OC number? What's her number? Because he didn't know if he didn't know OC was a boy. Stupid me say, OC's not a girl, that's a boy.
Oh, Jay.
Tore into my ass. What are you doing over there by OC house? Don't you know that girls should not be going on boys' house? Dude, oh my God, let me tell you something. And I was like, how stupid was I at that time? I wasn't even quick on my feet thinking. Yes,
wow.
So you tore into my ass for that one.
Told on yourself. You could have been like, oh, you know, well, I don't have her number, and just kept it moving. You told on yourself.
Listen, honey,
he said she.
Yes, yep. and I paid for it. Yes, I did. So I was like, you know, something. I'm like, you know, these things that I've just be doing. Sometimes I just gotta, you know, stop doing the wrong thing, but I just couldn't. Here's the funny thing with me though. I didn't like embarrassment and I didn't like beating. So then I became sneaky because I didn't like the embarrassment or the beating. I didn't like that part. Some, you know, like my sister was like, it is what it is. But me, I didn't like that. So I just became very sneaky and underhanded and shucking and jiving and, you know. Yes, that was my story all day, every day.
Didn't that make it worse though when you got caught?
Well, sometimes I got better as I got older though. I got better as I got older. Yes, I always get better when you get older. Plan. Exactly. And then my girlfriend Rochelle, who we grew up with, I grew up with her since first grade. So she's not really my girlfriend. She's like my sister. You know, we used to sit down if doing the wrong thing. We always had a plan. Okay, this is what we're gonna say. You gonna tell your mother this? I'm gonna tell her yes, so that we always cover our tracks.
I remember that. I remember them days.
So let me ask you this. If your mom listens to this podcast episode and she going to be like, Terry, what did you used to get away with? What you gonna say, Miss Terry?
She would probably say to her, yes, she very secret order. That's what she'll say. Yes, she Terry Ann, she very, very secret order. Yes, she'll tell you that. She will tell
order.
You that.
That's funny.
I didn't get a lot of beatings because, again, I used to, you know, chuck and
jiving.
But when it came, and I'm telling you, not easy tension. It was licks.
That is too funny.
And then one more time. Wait, let me tell you one more time. Then it was one more time. One more. My grandmother, before she lost one of her legs, she was trying to chase after me. So we had a dining room table, and the dining room table was jammed up against the wall with the chairs around it. Well, honey, I got underneath there, and she could not reach. So when she moved left, I moved right. When she moved right, I moved. Yes, I was underneath that table there for a minute before I came out. She said, "You're gonna come out sometime. You're gonna come out sometime."
Yep. And it's worse when you do that. Yep. You get it worse. Because, you know, on top of the beating you're going to get, now you're going to get a beating for frustrating them.
Yes. Of course.
So all that anger, I'm trying to think. So for me, I didn't learn this until recently. So and I have to get a little background story, just a little bit. So myself and my sister, we were out of our cousin, immediate cousin, except for the ones here, born in Guadeloupe. So a lot of our cousins, family, like all of my mom and dad's family, I met them when I came to the United States. So it was like growing up, I didn't know my parents had siblings. You know what I'm saying? It was, again, my story is really weird, but I'm just have to give the background on that. So that's that. So I remember like in Guadeloupe and stuff, I used to suck my thumb, and that was like the beating. I remember that beating because they used to want to make me stop. At the time, I was like, I think I was 6. Can't believe I remember that, but I was 6, and they kept trying to like get me to stop, right? Like, well, I can't help it, right? So I remember one day I came home from school, and I don't know if that happened to you guys, but in my family, they used to put us like on our knees, kneeling for like 30, however long they felt until they remembered you. So that was one of the punishments.
Without rice green.
They used to have, like it used to be either on like straight on the floor, but they also used sometimes, the grater, you grate cheese.
Oh no. Oh no.
the fine one, the finer one, you know what I'm saying? Like for a little bit, but it wasn't that often for that. So they used that.
Boy, your knees mash up.
I'm telling you, there were, so I remember that. And then I don't think that we got, like disciplined a lot of times. We got talked to a lot.
Oh, well, that was nice.
Unless I just like blacked it out. But then I remember like if you did something, and let's say you were over family's house, they had every right to discipline you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So
yes,
I remember, family members or friends' house, and if I was doing something, they used to discipline me. And then at my aunt's, on my dad's side, when I met her in the United States, she told me like my dad told her that I was the bad child when I was little. Goes to being rebellious. I was the bad child when I was little, but I felt like because of my mouth, I didn't get as much trouble because I'm like quick up with my mouth. So I felt like they would be looking at me like this one right here. You understand what I'm saying? Kind of like got out of it because of they just couldn't believe the stuff coming out my mouth. So it's like, go sit down somewhere or go take a knee somewhere. So I remember the knee stuff was the most punishment instead of like them hitting us, was just like basically like the timeout, for the Americans. So you just be like.
So Bertie, was it that you were rude or disrespectful or what? With your mouth.
Not you.
So this is how I explain it, and this again my perspective. And my perspective, because I gotta say my perspective. I ask a lot of questions, and Caribbean parents, they don't like you to ask questions.
True.
So for me, since I was little, if something didn't make sense, like you had to tell me why 1 + 1 = 2. You can't just tell me it equals 2 and I'm not going to ask you, well, it equals 2. How come? Like, you got to prove it to me. You can't just tell me to do something. If it makes sense, I'll do it. But there's things I question. So I think a lot of times, my mouth is what got me in trouble. And I don't think I was trying to be disrespectful. It's just like I had questions and I didn't understand that. Why can't y'all answer my question? That don't make no sense to me. I remember one time, so my mom was like, her type of discipline was yelling and screaming was more her thing.
What about your dad?
And then my dad, thankfully, unless like you really got him mad, he would try to talk to you first. So I appreciated that about him. Like he would try to talk to you. I remember like when, I came and I think I was like 13 and he was trying to spank me. And again, my mouth. And at that time I was rude because he asked me to do stuff. So I'm going to tell this story because it's a funny story. Him and my mom, when we came here, they weren't like together. So he came back in the picture. And when he came back in the picture, he was asking me to either go cook him something or do something. So I go, well, you got a wife. Why are you asking me?
Oh.
You wasn't part of the wall fixture. I mean, because I'm surprised you wall for that.
So when it came out, he went he grabbed the belt and he chased me down. Because, at that time, when it came out, I knew it was coming. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm dead. And my mom is upstairs like, what's going on? And I'm, again, my mouth gets me in trouble. So I'm like screaming the top of my lung. I don't understand why he's trying to spank me. But my reasoning was, so I'll explain this. My reasoning was my parents' relationship was kind of weird, right? When we came to the United States, my dad wasn't in the house with my mom. So he came back in the picture after years and then trying to discipline us. So I had some type of rebellious resentment because
like, who are you?
And that was the last time he spanked me. And then he set us down and he was like, you know what? But that's what I appreciate about my dad. Like, he knew Caribbean parents, they don't reflect on themselves much.
No,
they just do. My mom doesn't. Like, my mom still, so my dad did that. Like, he realized, yeah, you're right. Even though the way I said it was rude and I apologize, but he realized what I was saying. Yo, the dynamic is different. You haven't been around. You're trying to spank me. I'm not, again, if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to tell you about yourself. But that was rude. Don't try this, nobody. But he understood it. The other discipline, I don't know if you guys did that. Did they make you guys go get a stick outside, like a tree?
No.
Tree branch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Guadeloupe they did that. So I remember, like, with family friends, that's what they used to use. They used to go and get a stick and trying to like give you a stick. And then for my Haitian people, so they have this thing, and I never got spanked with it. They call it iguaz, and it's a belt, apparently, that's like, they spank you with it. It takes out your soul. Like, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never got spanked with it, but the belt is like, has a lot of things on it, but they call it iguaz. And the way it's made is like, really, once they spank you, it really is the most horrible punishment. I've never got spanked with that thing. God.
Wow.
So that is my story.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. You lost me after that kneeling on grates. I was like, okay, well, no, I didn't have no discipline. I was good. No, discipline, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah. When we became older, it became different because you go through your teenager phase. So my mom tried to like talk to us. And it was just like,
no, the chasing around the table. I remember that. I don't know what I got in trouble for. I know one thing. I always had a sarcastic mouth. Always had a my mouth always got me in trouble. About. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, my smart mouth got me in trouble. And, I just like, there was a lot of rules and I was just like, I don't understand why I got to deal with these rules. I don't want to deal with them. I don't remember what it was that I got in trouble for, but I know it's in the Bronx. It was one evening after dinner, we're at the table and I got in trouble for something. But one thing that they did is the belt. I even remember it was a bunch of leather belts hanging on a wire hanger hanging on the back of the door. So very vivid.
Choose and refuse, right, Lisa?
Say that again?
So they could pick, choose, and refuse which one they want to tell you with.
Yes. And I was, it's so vivid to me. I remember it. My mom went to spank me for something. I remember running around the dinner table and then my brother running around the dinner table, and it's both of us just getting spanks. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know who started running around the table first, if it was my brother or if it was me. All I know is we were just both getting licks. Okay? And that belt came out. It just appeared.
Yes.
It just appeared like it quick. Like I don't even remember them having conversation. It just was like, oh, you did something? And then they just appear with the belt. Like, oh, damn.
Lisa, were you rebellious?
Yeah, I was. I have no problem admitting that. Yeah.
Were you rude?
Yeah, I guess I was that too. Yeah, I guess that yeah.
Mercy. Yeah. So they used to light you up then.
Yeah, like 4th of July fireworks.
Oh my God. That's funny.
But let me tell you this other story, right? This is my favorite story, right?
Oh my gosh.
We're older now. I feel like my brother was in high school or college. I think maybe high school. I don't remember. Either way, one time at the house sitting at breakfast and some conversation came up and both my parents were like, we never beat you.
It's like they have some damn amnesia.
I never forget it. We were sitting at the table having breakfast. I think it might have been souse or saltfish and bakes. I don't know. My brother kindly got up from the table, dumped his plate in the sink, and just went upstairs. Like, did you just say that?
Oh, he couldn't finish his food.
No, he was done. So you never beat us. What?
Oh, he was
and that's why
disgusted.
I had. Disgusted was an understatement. He was done. He was like, I'm done.
Was it both of them saying that, or just one
both.
of them? Both of them.
Oh, both. Mm-hmm.
It's usually the mother that says that, you know.
Yeah.
But my mom was more like, we never did that. My dad was like, no, I don't think we did that.
So what did you do, Lisa? So your brother storms off.
Oh, I gave the same explanation I just gave you ladies. Really? That's funny, because I remember the belts hanging on the wire, and it was the dry cleaning hanger, and it was like bent because there was so many belts hanging on it, so it was all bent, and it was hanging on the back of the bedroom door.
What'd they say?
Oh, Lisa, you just exaggerate.
You did something. Lisa.
Boy, Jay.
Lisa.
Oh my gosh.
Boy, Jay.
I wish back in the days we had the little camera phones.
Yes.
Oh no.
We could have taken a picture and say, yes, you see right here. Look right here. Because they don't believe.
They don't.
So let me tell you another story. No, they don't. But let me tell you another story that happened. I'm not dropping no names. It happened to a cousin of mine. And I think it set all of us other cousins set us straight. So you know how the American culture, speaking of that, right? Mm-hmm. They're so different from us and how they do things. Now, we were in high school. That's when the whole thing started of, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to tell the teacher that, you hit me and I'm going to get you arrested and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm. No.
That's a no-no.
That's true.
Let me tell you, put the disclaimer out. Please forgive me, but I'm not going to drop no names. Yo, but we had one cousin that pulled that stunt. Cops showed up at my aunt's house. Shut up. She said, really? Okay. My aunt proceeded, closed the door. She didn't even say nothing to my cousin. Just, yes, I need a ticket to leave tonight back to Dominica. One-way ticket.
Oh.
Shipped her out. Oh, you want to call the police? The word got out to all the cousins. We were sitting there like,
y'all want to get shipped out?
Nah, yo. We ain't saying nothing. We get beat down the night before, come to school the next day. What happened to you? Nothing. Nothing.
So what happened to the cousin? The cousin went back?
Yo, she went back to Dominica and finished out the rest of her high school down there.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I think she might have came back senior year. I'm not sure, but she was there. Yeah, she was there for a minute. Like, nope. We was on the horn with other cousins like, yo, did you hear? Yo, did you hear? Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
But that's
no beatings over here.
Yeah, but that's the comparison though. Like, think about the comparison, talking about, all culture versus American culture. It's a good point. Like, let's compare some of those discipline from some of our American friends. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember some of my American friends, like, they would try to run away. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if their parents discipline them.
I tried that once.
Oh, you tried to run away?
Yeah, but I overslept, so it didn't work.
You know something, Lisa? I can't with you.
Oh my God.
Lisa, did your brother know about your plan?
No, I should have. You probably would have woke me up.
Did you pack your stuff? Did you pack a bag?
Yeah, I had a little backpack.
Where were you gonna go, Lisa?
Exactly.
I don't know where I was going. But I was leaving.
But you needed a nap before you go.
I needed a nap because I needed to leave in the middle of the night when everybody else was asleep.
You know something? I cannot. You can't. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's unfiltered. We can't make this stuff up.
Oh my gosh. No, I've never tried to run away. I'm trying to think. Yeah, but the whole thing about calling the cops, I know that was
a no-no. You don't do that.
You don't do that. You don't tell what's going on in your household.
You do not talk about what's going on in the house. That is rule number one.
And the child abuse thing and all of that, we didn't think it was. And I mean, I'm not saying that, there's not some that go overboard, but I think that made us better You understand what I'm saying?
So yeah.
People, at the end of the day, I'm not saying one way or another because each kid is different, you know, based on what kind of kid you are. Because I felt like I got more whooping than my sister. But again, my sister was more of the quiet one and I was more of the mouse. You understand what I'm saying? So I think she's the baby. So because I was the oldest, I felt like it was much more on me. So if she did something like, one time she had gum stuck in her hair, right? I walk into her godfather's house because we're over there. Her godfather's house. She has like her godfather's son and her hair chopping her hair off. Ooh. I was like, what the heck? And I'm little too, because we're only like 2 years apart. So when the grown-ups come home, you think that she gets in trouble. Guess who gets more in trouble?
Really?
Yes, I got like, well,
because you probably started and gave her the idea, right?
I wasn't even in the room. I didn't even know. I was just like
guilt by association.
So that was the other thing too. I feel like the oldest get more disciplined than the youngest ones.
Hands down, the older ones do. Yep.
So I resented my sister for a long time for that. Because I was like, that's some bull right there. How am I getting in trouble for your, like, really? So I'm already getting mine and getting double? No. So yeah, that used to be.
Yeah. I can't say that. I have to say my brother always had my back. Like,
look at that.
I'm mad at you because you mad at my sister.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm just concerned about all parties who will be listening to and they'll be like, I used to do that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great talk, and I guess till the next time, right?
Right. And if you guys have any comments or ways that you are disciplined that we didn't mention, please comment. Let us know if you've experienced what we have, and if your parents are also delusional that they never sent you. Please let us know too.
Too funny.
So we won't get more lick. No.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have to take a knee.
I'm gonna take a knee.
All right, we're going down the line. Back in our queens, we out of here.
Thank you for joining us this week on Unfiltered Limin with BLT. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and join our Facebook page. As always, subscribe to our show to catch every new episode. Leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh and exciting content. See you next Thursday, same time, same station. Unfiltered Limin with BLT is edited and produced by Unfiltered Limin with BLT.